Hatchet is a 2006 horror film that was written and directed by Adam Green. And the plot of this movie is, well, you see at the very beginning, Robert Englund. Yes, Freddy Krueger himself is at the very beginning, which put a smile on my face. He's playing a regular guy, well, regular in the sense that he's a hillbilly who's out with his son, and they're in this lake in the woods hunting, I guess, alligators or crocodiles or something until they both get killed. So then we jump to meet this character played by Joel Moore. He's Ben. Ben is trying to get over his girlfriend who cheated on him, and he's with his friend Dion Richmond, and they're at Mardi Gras. And you would think that'd be enough for him to get over his girlfriend, right? Well, no. So what he wants to do instead is he wants to go on this ghost tour, where you go on this boat in the lake, in the woods, and I guess this is going to get him to forget about his ex until him and the people that they're with are screwed because they get stuck out there and they're being hunted and ripped apart by some crazed half-breed hillbilly. Yes. Now what I thought of Hatchet was, I kind of liked it. I did. This is the very first time I've seen Hatchet. I've heard interesting things about it, so I guess you could say I was curious more so than interested. But I've been wanting to see a good horror film. Nowadays, it's nothing but possession, so I said, let me check out something to where it is a crazed slasher. Finally, right? Well, this slasher is very different. I mean, you've seen it so many times, right? I feel like they're all of these several movies are some form, some version of Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or The Hills Have Eyes, where this retarded or this inbred, or in this case mutated hillbilly type of character is crazed and homicidal, and I mean you don't really know much more about it than that. You get a little bit about the backstory where you see Kane Hodder. Yes, Kane Hodder. Not only do you see him physically in the flashbacks as the father of the inbred person, but I believe he plays the inbred killer as well, where you see how it looks and it's clearly a rubber suit or prosthetics all over him, and it looks kind of bad. I mean, you can tell this movie is made for cheap, so I can't really fault it for that. I will say that when it does get time for the deaths and the kills and the brutality of it, it's brutal. It's bloody, it's gory, it's over the top, sure, but it works. It's effective. It's hard to watch, and it's practical effects. So you can't really complain about the movie being cheap when it's able to do stuff like that and look the way that it does. Now let's talk about some of these characters. Joel Moore, like I said, is the main character, Ben, and he's the one who his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, cheated on him, and he's all broken up about it. Now look, he was with this girl for 8 years. That's a long-ass time, and for her to cheat on him, it is fucked up. I get it. When my last girlfriend cheated on me, I was fucking sad too. So I get it. But it's hard to watch him with his friends in Mardi Gras, and there's naked chicks everywhere flashing, and they're drunk, and they're probably easy to hook up with, and he can't get into it. He's not having fun. He's depressed. And who knows? Maybe in my lowest of lows, I would be in a similar way, but for some reason, watching him in that environment and still complaining about that ex-girlfriend and not having fun sort of annoyed me. I don't want to say I didn't like his character, but I was annoyed by his character. And Dion Richmond, who is just trying to have fun, trying to do whatever, he's a good friend. Because even though he's the comic relief, right? He's the black guy in the movie. But he left the party atmosphere, the fun, the drinking, the women. I mean, it's not like he was overjoyed doing so, but he did this for his friend because his friend wanted to go on this boat tour trip, whatever the fuck it was. I don't know why that sounded more fun to the main character, but I guess it did. Now, when we do get on this boat, we quickly meet this girl, Mary Beth, who's played by Tamara Feldman. And Mary Beth at first comes off a little cold and maybe a bitch because she doesn't really want to talk to anyone or be friends. And then you find out that Robert Englund, at the very beginning, was her father. And since he's gone missing, dead, she's out here to look for him. So I like that. I like that she was being proactive and she had a gun and she was kind of the tough chick there. So that was cool. We have a traveling couple, older couple, who, I mean, they're sweet people, they're nice people. To see what happens to them is so fucking awful and fucked up, but memorable, I have to give it that. You have this random guy with a camera who claims to be some big-time director, but, I mean, I wonder if he's lying, right? He's videotaping these two hot chicks who are dumb as rocks, and they constantly argue with each other, which is pretty funny and amusing, I admit that. Likeable, not so much, but still amusing. And then the tour guide. He's this Asian kid who has this thick accent that was actually annoying me because I thought to myself, look at this group. They're so diverse, they're so different age range, and just one of the most diverse group of people in a horror movie that I've seen in a long time. But the one character who's a different race, Asian, he had to have that accent. I'm like, really, guys? Until you find out that, no, it's fake. He was putting that on as a disguise, or he was being a character. And so that I liked. I said, okay, I'll give you credit for that. Now, there was a lot of humor, especially the first half of this movie. So for as maybe lack of great writing that was there, at least it was making me laugh at points. And I guess that's what made me at least like to watch these characters like I did. But then when it came time to killing them, they died in such brutal and vicious ways that I don't want to say I felt bad, but there was at least one or two characters that made me laugh consistently, that when they died I did feel bad, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a horror movie. I have to watch them get brutally murdered, don't I? And how can I not mention, Tony Todd is in this movie, very briefly, almost a cameo, as a reverend, which was awesome. I mean, my only complaint is that he wasn't in the movie more, because he was hilarious. But my last complaint, really, is the ending. And I'm not saying because of what actually happens, it's what doesn't happen. The movie just, it goes like balls to the wall, they go for broke, big huge thing happens, and then it just cuts off. And I'm like, huh? That's it? And I'm looking around and I'm like, there's no way that this is how the movie ends. I mean, I've heard of cliffhangers, but there's no way that they ended the movie like this because they knew there would be a bunch of sequels, which I know there are sequels. I very much doubt that Hatchet Part 2 begins with where this movie ends. I could be completely wrong. I'm about to watch it and find out. But still, this ending left me very unsatisfied, unhappy. And just maybe the point is that it left me wanting more. Maybe mission accomplished, but still, come on. For a dumb horror movie like this, really, did you have to do something like that? Anyways, guys, my overall thoughts is that it's a pretty good horror movie. It's fun, it's gory, it's bloody, there's a lot that's going on, but still I have my complaints, obviously. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you two have seen Hatchet. What did you think of it? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!